So guys, I've had a few people ask me, does the large pyrite deserve all the hype that it gets from people and from me? And I'm going to tell you, yeah, it does. This thing's great. This is, I think, the best pyrite they've released, even though the Warrenclyffe is close. So let's turn this around and take a look at this awesome button lock from above. All right, guys, like I said in the intro, I absolutely believe that the CJRB large pyrite is deserving of all the hype it has got. Well, all the pyrites are, as a matter of fact. So quick disclaimer, this came to me from CJRB. They do send me items for review. A lot of people would say that that means this is probably the most perfect version, but I'm going to tell you that I don't think they handpick things. This is just a pyrite that they had laying around. I'll tell you why. So this thing is one of those new series of button locks that CJRB came out with the Echo, the Riff, this one. There's another one in there, I believe, that they came out with. They're all button locks. They've done an amazing job of bringing really, really good button locks to the budget market. Now, they started with the regular pyrite, which this is the titanium, but this is the regular size pyrite. And then a knife that I also love as well, which is the Warrenclyffe pyrite, which spends a lot of time in pocket as well. I love both of these, which is not typical. Typically, if I like the large version, I'm not going to like the regular, but I love this as well. So this is a really nicely done knife, ARRPM 9 and steel. So this is a steel button lock, but you can see I've done a lot of weight reduction, which means that this does not feel real heavy. Let's go ahead and get some specs. So you're looking at a 3.1 inch blade and a 4.2 inch handle for an overall length of 7.3 inches. The blade's an ARRPM 9, and this is a steel handle. Now this comes in black and steel. I personally like this one with the stone wash. Overall on this, the weight is, I'm trying to see here, I wrote down the weight. The weight is 3.7 ounces. Now, for a steel knife to come in at 3.7 ounces, that is really good, especially considering how large this is. Like I said, when you look at that, it's large overall. So the ARPM 9 blade has been ground down really thin for such a large knife, and that's because it's nice and broad. So they didn't use really thick blade stock, and they ground it down nice and thin, and ARPM 9 takes a very aggressive edge. Now, I have resharpened this a couple times. We'll get into that a little bit later. And it has stayed really thin behind the edge. That nice transition comes down very, very well. They have done it with thumb studs that you can reverse flick or thumb flick. Now that is the only deployment, but because it is a button lock, you can push the button and flick it out and then drop it just like you would with an access lock. The steel handles on it share the same stonewash. You've got that continuity of finish across. I think that's what I like the most about this. Even though I do like the titanium version, it's got a definite difference because it's like bead blasted and then stonewashed. On this full steel version, this large pyrite, you don't really lose anything. You can see it all the way across. Now, like I said, the button lock on this is exceptionally good. All of the CJRB button locks that have come out recently have been absolutely phenomenal. This is no exception. You've got a really nice area for your button, nice deep travel on that plunger, so that even if you do get on that button, you don't lose lockup. You have to deploy that. You have to make the conscious decision to deploy that. When it's closed, the button sits nice and flush. You're not gonna have to worry about that catching. I mean, it stands up a little bit, but it's flush enough that you don't have to worry about it catching on things. Action on it. Sometimes button locks can be a little spongy. This is not the case. It snaps open very, very well. You've got a reversible pocket clip that is a deep carry pocket clip. This is a very good pocket clip, especially on this knife, because it being larger, you're well past the area where this would turn into a hotspot when you're holding it. You don't have a forward finger choil per se, but it's a sharpening choil, but you can get up on it. I think that's what I like about this, because in proportion, I can't really get up in that on the smaller version, on the original, but I can absolutely get up in that as a full finger choil. And you can definitely not have to worry about getting into anything when you're sharpening, because you're well away from the handles. Now the handles are very nicely chamfered on the edges. Well, I shouldn't say chamfered, but softened on the edges. So even though they're flat, They're very comfortable. Sometimes these flat knives can be incredibly comfortable in hand, and this is no exception. So you've got this area here where your finger just drops into it naturally and you're up on it. Now, as far as corrosion resistance, I'm going to tell you right now, this knife has went to the beach with me every time my daughter and I have went this summer for hours and hours on end. It's been in salt water. I have seen zero corrosion on this knife. I haven't even taken it apart to clean it out. The only thing I did, rinse it under fresh water to clean it out. I took it apart when it first got here to change out the lubricant, and that's it. The reversible pocket clip is really nice because, as you know, button locks are ambidextrous, so you can flip that, carry it left-handed, and you still, I can't flip left-handed, I'm sorry. You can still manipulate that knife just like you would if you had it in the right hand. And like I said, so light for such a large knife. I didn't do a size comparison. We'll do one real quick right now so you can see. There it is next to the Chris Reese Sebenza. And so just so you know, the Sebenza and this are about the same weight. So to get a large steel knife to a weight that is comparable to a titanium frame lock is awesome. Now, I will say, with any knife, there are some negative things. So we're going to turn this around in a second and talk about that after you hear from a sponsor.
Guys, you've heard me talk about Coffee Brand Coffee a bunch of times. I'm going to do it again real quick. Coffee Brand Coffee is a channel sponsor. They are a great company sponsoring small channels like mine, but they also are a guilt-free purchase because they do not practice any politics. They have a money-back guarantee, and they roast their coffee on demand. So if you're interested in it, my link down below in the videos saves you 10% at checkout, sometimes more depending on what they've got going on as far as specials and sales. So go check them out. Great product. Thank you very much for sponsoring the channel, Coffee Brand Coffee. Let's get back to the knife.
So there's not much negative to say about this. There was one issue that I had with this knife, and I want to be transparent. You guys know I love to be transparent about my reviews. When I first got this knife would smack into the backspacer if I let it slam shut like that. And we may have done it again just now. No, I've removed enough material. So I took some material off that standoff. You can see right there. I just took a square file, or a flat file, and used the side of it to open that up. There is a small facet on the blade here, but the big thing with the blade grind is, can you see that dark line right there under the stonewash? You can see it starts right there. I don't know how well you guys are going to see it. I can definitely see it right there. There you go. There's a little area there. That translates into a thin spot on the blade where your grind comes up. You can see my edge bevel comes up, and then it gets thin, and then it widens out again. It's just in that little area right there. The width of that dark area is just a little low. Other than that, I mean, the edge grind is great. The last thing that I have an issue with is the jimping is very soft. I would just prefer that they had not put that on there at all. If you're going to do jimping, it needs to be aggressive, and that really isn't. It's just smooth. And with this already being a smooth knife, that really wasn't going to get you much anyway. So other than that, I absolutely love this knife. I'm keeping this one. If I do a giveaway of a pyrite, it's going to be the more expensive titanium pyrite. I believe I've mentioned that before. So if you guys want to stick around, I may explain how you can win this, because that's going to be a members giveaway. So let's turn this around, do some final thoughts, and send you out about your day.
There you go, guys. Yeah, I absolutely love this. I think that the Wharncliffe pyrite comes close. As for a small knife, it's weird that I would like both versions. I love the Wharncliffe one. I like this for different reasons. This just fits my hands better. This is, for me, probably the best pyrite. You really want to see me go nuts? Wait for them to release a Wharncliffe version of the large pyrite. So, guys, well, that's it on this one. You guys know you saw an ad probably for Coffee Brand Coffee down below. I have a couple other sponsors I'm working on trying to get. I'm starting to film some stuff for them. If it comes through before this video gets released, that's what you will see, but I'm not sure yet. But Coffee Brand Coffee and Tempered Trail both are channel sponsors. There are links down below with discounts built in. I've got a coupon code for you guys over at Rosecraft Blades and Fire & Forge Knife Works. That coupon code is Crazy Sharp, saves you 5% at checkout. Coffee Brand Coffee is now a 10% discount, by the way. Guilt-free purchase on that. Amazon. I have an Amazon store. If you guys buy anything on Amazon, please do it through my store. It supports the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. It definitely does support the channel. And the final way is I've got a membership. That is the prime way I would like you guys to support it. I've got benefits built that are tier-based. Everyone gets access to my private Discord. Everyone gets early access to videos the second I release them. Everyone gets exclusive content. The baseline and premium tier members, the next levels up, they automatically get entered into giveaways I do, like that pyrite in titanium. So the premium guys, the top tier, have access to a sharpening tutorial series here on YouTube behind that paywall. Guys, that's it. I love you all. Keep it clean in the comment section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. And I'll see you in the next video.